Mary lived in a quaint little town where every corner seemed to whisper memories of her late husband, John. The small house they had shared stood proudly at the end of Maple Street, its white picket fence slightly worn but still charming. Inside, the walls were adorned with pictures of their happiest moments, capturing smiles from days that felt far away. Each morning, Mary would wake up to the soft sunlight filtering through the curtains, reminding her of how John used to love the early morning light. She would brew a pot of coffee and sit at the kitchen table, staring out the window as she sipped from her favorite mug, a gift from John on their anniversary. This routine, familiar and comforting, now felt like a lifeline tethering her to the past. As the days blended into weeks, Mary found herself lost in a haze of routine. She would tend to her garden, pulling weeds and watering the flowers that John had planted. She would visit the local market, exchanging polite smiles with neighbors who knew her story but rarely ventured to ask how she was truly feeling. At night, she would curl up on the couch with a book, yet the words often faded into a blur as her mind wandered back to memories of laughter and love. Despite her efforts to keep busy, a heavy sadness loomed over Mary. It was as if a shadow followed her everywhere she went. She missed John deeply and sometimes felt guilty for even considering being happy again. The world moved on around her, but she remained stuck in that still moment when he had left her side. Mary's days passed in this bittersweet cycle until she noticed something stirring in her heart, a flicker of hope just waiting for the right moment to blossom. Little did she know, change was just around the corner. As winter gave way to spring, the town began to change in ways that both delighted and saddened Mary. Bright green shoots pushed through the brown earth, and vibrant flowers began to bloom, their colors bursting forth like joyful laughter. However, while the world outside transformed with renewed life, Mary felt a heaviness in her heart that the onset of spring only seemed to emphasize. The cherry blossoms lined the streets with soft pink petals swirling in the breeze. Children laughed and played in the park, their excitement contrasting sharply with Mary's quiet loneliness. She often took her morning walks, but these strolls reminded her starkly of what was missing, the cheerful hand of John to hold and the shared joy of watching the world awaken from its winter slumber. Mary watched as families gathered for picnics, celebrating birthdays and sharing moments that she once cherished with John. Every laughter echoed reminders of their past at this time of year, long afternoons spent in the sun, planting seeds together in their garden, and sharing ice cream on warm days. Now, those memories felt bittersweet as she wandered through her own emotional landscape, marred by grief yet touched by fleeting hints of hope. With every blooming flower and chirping bird, Mary realized that spring was urging her to embrace life again. While the beauty of nature stirred something inside her, it also caused her heart to ache for what could have been. She tried to shake off these feelings, reminding herself that healing is a process that takes time. Each day she watered her garden, a ritual that had become both a chore and a comfort. She found herself caught between embracing new beginnings and holding tightly onto the past. But as buds started to bloom around her, deep down, Mary sensed that perhaps she too would find a way to blossom once more. One sunny afternoon, while wandering past the local cafe, Mary noticed a newcomer sitting at a table outside, sketching the scene before him. He was tall, with tousled dark hair and piercing blue eyes that seemed to capture the world around him. His fingers moved gracefully across the paper, appearing both lost in thought and fully present at the moment. Intrigued, Mary found herself drawn to the traveler's quiet intensity. The cafe owner, Mrs. Thompson, soon introduced him as Alex. He had recently arrived in town after an extensive journey that took him across different countries and cultures. Each place he visited left an impression on his artistic style, which vibrated with life and emotion, a contrast to Mary's own muted existence. As they exchanged greetings, he quickly charmed her with his adventurous spirit and keen curiosity about life. As she sat nearby, sipping her coffee and watching him work, Alex caught her eye and smiled warmly. "What do you think I'm capturing?" he asked playfully, gesturing to his drawing. Instead of regarding it as merely a landscape, Mary felt that he was capturing something far deeper, the essence of happiness that felt just out of reach for her. Their conversation flowed easily as they discussed art and travel. Alex's stories of distant lands, where mountains met oceans and sunsets painted wild colors across the sky, transported her briefly away from her own sorrowful thoughts. He spoke of how he traveled to find inspiration but also to learn more about himself along the way. It made Mary reflect on her own journey since John's passing. In that fleeting moment of connection, she felt a spark of something new within her, a sense of possibility mixed with curiosity. The mysterious traveler had arrived at just the right time, stirring feelings long buried under her grief. Little did Mary know that this encounter would set off a chain of events that would reshape her life in ways she had yet to imagine. The sun hung high in the sky, casting warm rays that danced through the cafe's open windows. Mary settled into her usual corner seat, a coffee mug steaming gently in front of her. She watched as Alex continued to sketch, seemingly oblivious to the bustling world around him. Each flick of his wrist brought life to the page, capturing not just the scenery but also the essence of the afternoon. Gathering her courage, Mary decided to approach him. "That looks amazing," she said softly, trying to suppress her shyness. Alex looked up with a bright smile that lit up his face. "Thank you. I'm just trying to capture this lovely town," he replied, gesturing toward the view from his table. "Do you come here often?" She nodded, a bit surprised by how easy it felt to talk to him. "Yes, it's my favorite spot. I love watching people and how they interact." His eyes sparkled with interest as he encouraged her to share more. "What do you find most fascinating about them?" Mary hesitated for a moment before answering. "I think it's how everyone has their own story, happy or sad. I used to love telling stories too." The word slipped out before she could stop herself, revealing more than she intended. "Stories are what connect us," Alex said thoughtfully, leaning forward. "Every journey I've taken taught me something new about myself and people I've met." Mary felt a stirring in her heart as she recognized a kindred spirit in him. He understood the weight of experiences and emotions. Their conversation flowed naturally, moving from art to travel, each word igniting a small flame of hope within her. As they spoke, laughter and chatter filled the air around them, but for Mary, time felt suspended. In that brief encounter at the cafe, she sensed that a new chapter was beginning, one where her heart could learn to embrace joy again. As the days turned into weeks, Mary found herself drawn to the cafe more often, eager to see Alex and share in conversations that felt both uplifting and refreshing. Their friendship blossomed over shared interests in art and nature, each meeting revealing new layers of connection between them. Alex inspired her to engage with the world around her in ways she had long forgotten. One afternoon, as they strolled through the town's blooming gardens, Alex picked a daisy and handed it to Mary with a grin. "Every flower has its own story," he said. "Have you ever thought about what stories these flowers might tell?" Mary smiled back, feeling a lightness in her heart as she took in the vibrant colors surrounding them. "No, I haven't. I've mostly just admired their beauty," she admitted. "Let's change that," he urged. "How about we start sketching? You could bring your thoughts to life on paper." At first, Mary hesitated, self-doubt creeping in. But Alex's encouragement was infectious. He handed her a small notepad and a pencil, gesturing for her to try. As she drew a simple flower, she felt her worries begin to fade away. With Alex by her side, she discovered joy in creativity, something she hadn't experienced since John's passing. Their shared adventures continued beyond the garden. They explored nearby hiking trails, where Alex pointed out unique plants and animals. Each outing pushed Mary slightly outside her comfort zone, helping her embrace the beauty of nature while rekindling her adventurous spirit. With every new experience they shared, Mary felt herself transforming. The laughter they exchanged and the stories they created together began to fill the void left by her grief. Slowly but surely, she realized that stepping into this new friendship with Alex was allowing her heart to heal and grow again. One bright Saturday morning, Alex suggested they visit a nearby nature reserve known for its breathtaking views and diverse wildlife. Mary felt a thrill of excitement mixed with nervousness. "Are you ready for an adventure?" he teased, his blue eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. As they hiked along the winding trails, Alex pointed out various plants and birds, sharing fascinating facts about the ecosystem that made Mary feel like she was seeing nature through new eyes. They paused by a serene pond where dragonflies danced above the water, and Alex pulled out his sketchbook to capture the scene. Mary sat beside him, her gaze drifting over the shimmering surface as she listened to his laughter and stories. "Did you know that dragonflies can live underwater for up to 2 years?" he shared, grinning. Mary laughed, feeling lighter than she had in a long time. The warmth of the sun on her skin and the fresh scent of pine trees made her realize how much she had missed these simple pleasures. Later that day, they settled on a large rock overlooking a valley filled with wildflowers. As they took a break to eat sandwiches, Mary opened up about her life before John passed away, her dreams, aspirations, and even the fears she had buried deep inside. Alex listened intently, nodding in understanding. "It's okay to feel lost sometimes," he said gently. "We all have our own paths, it's about finding what makes us whole again." Inspired by his words, Mary shared her hopes of traveling someday, of visiting places she had only dreamed about, like the mountains Alex often spoke of. In turn, he revealed snippets of his past travels, his childhood adventures in Europe and the moments that shaped who he was today. As they spoke and laughed, Mary felt an undeniable bond forming between them, a connection that filled her heart with warmth. In sharing their stories, they discovered not only common interests but also pieces of themselves that had been hidden away for too long. These moments of vulnerability and laughter were stitching together the fabric of their friendship, encouraging Mary to embrace life once more. As their friendship blossomed, a shadow of doubt began to creep into Mary's heart. After one particularly lovely day spent hiking and laughing with Alex, she returned home feeling elated, only to be met with a wave of guilt. Sitting on her porch, she clutched the daisy Alex had given her earlier, the flower now wilting in her hand. The joy she had experienced that day felt like a betrayal to John's memory. Mary's thoughts raced. How could she possibly think about moving forward and opening herself up to new experiences when John was still such a strong presence in her life? Guilt wrapped around her like a heavy blanket, weighing down any semblance of happiness. "Is it wrong to feel this way?" she whispered to herself as tears welled in her eyes. Meanwhile, Alex also faced his own inner turmoil. Though he exuded confidence and spontaneity, after spending time with Mary, he realized that his lifestyle of constant travel and evasion stemmed from unresolved pain. Memories of past relationships haunted him in moments when he had chosen adventure over stability, leaving behind people who mattered. He carried a fear of intimacy built on the belief that attachment would lead to hurt. One quiet evening, as they sat together sketching at the cafe, Mary's silence caught Alex's attention. "You seem lost in thought," he remarked gently. I don't want to forget John," Mary admitted slowly, her voice almost a whisper. "But spending time with you makes me happy." Alex looked into her eyes with understanding as he confided in turn. "I've been running away from what matters most too, afraid of getting hurt again." In that moment of vulnerability and honesty, both realized they were navigating their own struggles while trying to connect deeply with each other. Their growing bond became a blend of healing come from shared burdens and fears, a reminder that love is never easy but sometimes worth pursuing despite the shadows lingering in their hearts. As the days turned warmer and the flowers bloomed in full glory, Mary found herself grappling with a whirlwind of emotions. One afternoon, after spending a particularly joyful day with Alex, she returned home feeling elated yet conflicted. The laughter they had shared echoed in her mind, but it was soon overshadowed by the familiar weight of guilt. Sitting alone on her porch, she clutched the sketch Alex had given her, a simple yet beautiful drawing of a wildflower. "What am I doing?" she whispered to herself, tears brimming in her eyes. "It feels like I'm forgetting John." The thought made her heart ache, and with that realization, her instinct to pull away kicked in. The next day, Mary cancelled their plans to visit a local art exhibit under the pretext of needing time to herself. She texted Alex saying she wasn't feeling well and needed some space. As she read over her message, a knot formed in her stomach. She knew he would understand, but it felt wrong to keep pushing him away when he had shown nothing but kindness. Alex sensed something was off as he received her message but respected her need for space. He didn't press for explanations or give in to frustration. Instead, he prepared an unexpected surprise for her, a small bouquet of wildflowers and a heartfelt note reminding her that healing takes time and that he was there whenever she felt ready. Days went by where Mary remained distant. She tried to bury herself in routine, yet Alex's patient presence lingered in her heart. She felt torn between wanting to connect with him and the fear of moving forward without John's memory overshadowing it all. Eventually, she found herself wandering back to their favorite cafe. Sitting at their usual table with an empty chair across from hers stirred a longing within her. She recognized Alex's understanding nature meant he would wait for her return when she was ready, yet the thought of that filled Mary with both comfort and dread. Would she ever truly be able to let someone else into her heart? One clear evening, the stars twinkled like diamonds scattered across a velvet sky, and Mary and Alex found themselves at their favorite spot by the lake. The night was tranquil, with the gentle lapping of water against the shore creating a soothing backdrop. Mary had reluctantly agreed to join Alex after several days of self-imposed distance, feeling both anxious and grateful for his persistence. As they settled onto the grassy bank, a comfortable silence enveloped them. Alex pulled out his sketchbook and began to draw under the moonlight, while Mary gazed up at the stars, her heart heavy with unspoken thoughts. It was beautiful here, yet an ache she couldn't ignore nagged at her. Memories of John flooded back as they often did in quiet moments. Sometimes I think about what it would be like if he were still here, Mary admitted softly, breaking the silence. The words felt like a release, but they also carried the weight of her grief. Alex put down his pencil and turned to her, his expression serious yet inviting. "What do you remember most about him?" he asked gently. Mary took a deep breath, feeling both vulnerable and safe. "He loved stargazing," she began, her voice trembling slightly. "Every clear night, we'd lie on the roof and look for constellations. He had this way of making even the simplest things feel magical." As she spoke, she felt the familiar mix of bittersweet nostalgia, joyful memories intertwined with deep sorrow. "But now, I'm scared to let go of those moments. It feels like forgetting him." "Letting someone new into your life doesn't mean erasing his memory," Alex said reassuringly. "Your love for him is part of who you are, it shapes you." Tears brimmed in Mary's eyes as she realized how true that was. In this moment under the stars, surrounded by nature's beauty and Alex's understanding presence, she began to acknowledge the fear that had held her back, fear of forgetting John and fear of opening her heart again. "I don't want to forget," Mary whispered, her vulnerability weaving fragile threads between them. Alex reached out, taking her hand in his, a silent promise that he would be there as she navigated her heart's journey. Underneath the vast sky filled with stars, Mary felt an unexpected warmth bloom inside her, a sign that perhaps it was time to embrace both memories and new beginnings. In the days that followed their heartfelt conversation under the stars, Mary felt a subtle shift within herself. The warmth she had experienced beside Alex lingered in her heart, encouraging her to reflect on her feelings in a new light. She began to understand that her memories of John could coexist with her developing feelings for Alex. The duality of it all felt liberating, as if she were finally opening the door to a larger room filled with love and memories. One evening, while sitting at home, Mary reached for one of her favorite photo albums. As she flipped through the pages, tears welled in her eyes, but they were not solely from sadness. Each picture captured a moment of joy. John's laughter echoed in her mind alongside a sense of gratitude for the love they had shared. She whispered softly to herself, "You will always be my first love," and recognized that this did not lessen her ability to find happiness again. Eager to share these realizations with Alex, she reached out to him, asking if he would join her for a picnic by the lake. A flutter of excitement raced through her as she prepared for their outing. She nestled some of John's favorite snacks into the basket, a blend of old memories and new beginnings. When Alex arrived, he was met with an enthusiastic smile that lit up Mary's face. They sat by the tranquil water, with geometric rays casting patterns through the trees above them. As they laughed and enjoyed their meal together, Mary found the courage to open up about her journey since their last conversation. "I realized that I can cherish my memories of John while also allowing space for new experiences. All it takes is some trust," she confessed. Alex looked at her with admiration and warmth. "That's a beautiful revelation," he said sincerely. "You're stronger than you know." As dusk approached and the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with shades of pink and orange, Mary felt an overwhelming sense of peace settle within her. In that moment, surrounded by nature and Alex's encouraging presence, she knew she was growing and healing in ways she'd never thought possible. The path towards opening her heart wider to love had begun. As the days warmed into summer, Mary felt a newfound sense of clarity and determination. The realization that she could embrace both her past and her budding feelings for Alex ignited a spark within her. One sunny afternoon, after a morning spent painting together at a local art fair, Mary decided it was time to take the next step in their relationship. Sitting on a bench overlooking the fairgrounds, surrounded by laughter and cheerful chatter, Mary took a deep breath. The vibrant colors of the paintings around them reminded her of the joy she had begun to rediscover. "Alex," she began, her heart racing, "I've been thinking a lot about us." He turned to her with a gentle smile, his eyes full of warmth and encouragement. "What's on your mind?" "I want you to know that I care about you deeply." "I've been scared to let myself feel this way because of my past," she confessed, her voice steadying with each word. "But I also realize that moving forward doesn't mean forgetting John. It means honoring him while allowing myself to create new memories with you." Alex's expression softened as he listened, and he reached out to hold her hand. "Mary, I completely understand. I want you to know that I'm here for you, whatever you decide." Feeling a wave of relief wash over her, Mary smiled brightly. "I want to explore this connection we have. I want to see where it goes." A grin spread across Alex's face, and he squeezed her hand gently. "I would love that," he said, his voice filled with sincerity. From that moment on, they began to explore their relationship more openly. Whether it was visiting local markets, enjoying outdoor concerts, or simply spending quiet evenings talking and laughing under the stars, each shared experience deepened their bond. Mary felt lighter, as if a weight had been lifted from her shoulders. She knew there would still be moments of sadness and reflection about John, but now they were intertwined with happiness and hope for the future. In allowing herself to embrace love again, she felt as if she were finally stepping into the light, a beautiful blend of past and present, where new possibilities awaited. As summer began to fade into early autumn, Mary felt an undeniable shift in her heart. The journey she had embarked upon with Alex was not just about finding companionship, it was a path toward healing and wholeness. With each shared laughter, every gentle touch of his hand, and the intimate conversations they enjoyed, Mary realized how far she had come. Walking through the local park one afternoon, the leaves crunched beneath their feet, painting the ground in vibrant hues of orange and gold. Mary leaned into Alex as they strolled along the winding path, feeling grateful for the love that now accompanied her on this new chapter of her life. "I never thought I could feel this way again," she said softly, looking up at him with a smile. Alex paused and met her gaze. "It's never too late to find joy," he replied warmly. "You've shown me that too." Mary felt a swell of emotion as she reflected on her journey, the moments of doubt and fear interspersed with peace and acceptance. She remembered the heavy weight of grief that had once filled her days and contrasted it with the lightness she now experienced. Through Alex's encouragement and understanding, she had learned to embrace both her past and the future that lay ahead. As they continued their walk, Mary knew that while John would always hold a special place in her heart, opening herself to new love did not diminish those cherished memories. Instead, it enriched her life further, allowing her to honor him while creating new moments filled with laughter and joy. With the sun beginning to set behind them, casting a golden glow over the trees, Mary took Alex's hand firmly in hers. Side by side, they walked forward together into a brighter future, a testament to love's enduring power and proof that even in times of loss, healing is possible. In that moment, Mary understood, life continues to unfold beautifully when we allow ourselves to love again.